the taxi strike may be over, but what impact did it have on the community? Criminal activity was on the rise. People couldn't get to work, which resulted in a loss of income. And stores were running out of basics like bread and milk. Now, humanitarian organisation Gift of the Givers, as they do, stepped in to provide food parcels to those in need. But what effect did this strike have on the hunger crisis in the Western Cape? Joining me now from Gift of the Givers is Ali Sablay, who joins us virtually from Cape Town. Ali, we know that there are hundreds, if not millions of families in a food crisis every single day. And then when we're dealing something like this taxi strike that really surprised many people who weren't aware of it coming down the line, a lot of people were left with even less on the table. How did you receive the call and how did Gift of the Givers react?
Thank you for. As you can recall, not too long ago, we faced a similar situation during the Durban unrest, where many communities were cut off because of not supplies coming in and of all the shopping malls and shops closed off, especially in the informal settlements. On the second day of the strike already, Gift of the Givers has about 105 soup kitchens in around these areas, in the informal settlements and Cape Plus areas. They started calling us, and when we received calls from church leaders, community leaders, school principals, and the clinic sisters informing us there are people coming to the clinic, patients coming to the clinic, not for any medication, not for any help, but just for coming to ask for something to eat. We knew we were sitting with a huge crisis if this taxi strike does not stop as soon as. We immediately called in all our soup kitchens to come through to our warehouse, to start loading non-perishable food items, to start feeding the communities. And as we know, for many of the children, the only food they receive on a daily basis is from the school feeding team. So you can just imagine the crisis we were going to face if we were not prepared for this kind of initiative or this kind of strike taking place, or not preparing for this, for the humanitarian crisis that we'll be facing over the few days.
Yeah, and it was a number of areas: Khayelitsha, Gugulethu, Mfuleni, Dunoon, Nyanga, Highlands Park, Bishop Lavis, and Mitchell's Plain, which is some of the areas that you serviced. I was quite interested to find out from you how that works behind the scenes for you, because within 2 days, I was getting messages from families saying the major retail stores didn't have bread on the shelves. How are you able to access those essentials in a crisis situation like that, and then transport them into areas that were being deemed as hotspots from a safety point of view?
What we've done immediately was, when the first thing when we made contact with our soup kitchens, you must remember it's 105 soup kitchens, and for logistically it would have been a nightmare to deliver all 105 on one day. We made a call out to them immediately. Are you guys available to come to our warehouse to come collect the stock? What we've managed to do, we've managed to purchase from our wholesalers all available non-perishable food items in terms of maize meal, rice, your beans, that kind of items. Tesco was very kind. They donated 20,000 loaves of bread as they could not get into stores in the informal settlements. We then were in contact with the City of Cape Town Disaster Risk Management Team, South African Police Services, informing them that our soup kitchens will be coming to collect these items. And then Santaco also gave us a call, informing us that if any of your guys' soup kitchens, or if you guys need personally to come to the township, we will escort you guys as our people are facing humanitarian crisis. So everyone came on board to come assist these communities, and everything ran so smoothly. The soup kitchens used to be there in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock. By 1 o'clock, they could serve meals to thousands of people to these different informal settlements.
What are you hearing from these communities that you go to in times of crisis? Now that the taxi strike is over, it doesn't mean that the hunger goes away, because it is an endemic problem in so many communities, not just in the Western Cape, but across the country.
Most definitely. I'll give you one example. Look at a town like Touwsrivier. COVID-19, when we were first alerted to the crisis in Touwsrivier, the unemployment rate was sitting between 40 to 50% there. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit South Africa, the main form of employment, which was the railway there, they closed down. The game reserve had to shut down because the tourism industry closed down. Farmers could not export their produce, so all the farm workers were put off. So from 50%, the unemployment rate increased to 90%. A
Sure.
soup kitchen, which used to feed 150 to 200 people per day, suddenly the line shot up to 1,200 people per day. Children who had to went to school on an empty stomach. We were forced to provide not only a lunch meal for the soup kitchen, we were forced to let the children before they go to school, they come to get their cereal and this is nutritional because teachers were informing us. Children were dropping in the classroom because of not having something to eat at home. So this is just one of the many incidents I can report on that's happening in many, as you correctly said, not only in the Western Cape, in many parts of the country. Just last week, we had a tragedy situation where a mother, where she could not bear the poverty anymore, she fed rat sticks to her two children. She stabbed the other daughter, and then she hanged herself. Why? Because she could not provide for her family.
How are the gift of the givers able to keep up this level of aid to these communities, even outside of a time of crisis, of a taxi strike, of a protest that's happening? Surely this is untenable.
The need is huge. It's not enough. There are towns calling us on a daily basis. We can see the increase in our soup kitchen lines, the way the numbers are increasing month after month. We see the crisis that's happening in the rural areas where communities are 90 to 95% unemployed. The social grants are not enough. So we are really appreciative of corporate South Africa who has come on board to support us with these initiatives. But we appeal to those. We need more support in terms of making communities self-efficient. Just yesterday, we had a call from the relevant Department of Agriculture who wants to partner with us and visiting these rural areas in making these people self-efficient by establishing community gardens. But that's a process on its own. The main problem is the people need food now, and we can see the hunger crisis increasing on a daily basis, especially amongst the elderly and children. We have incidents, example of TB patients where the clinics inform us they cannot give the TB patients the medications because some of them have to take 27 tablets a day. And how do you take that tablets on the empty stomach? And the risk
Yeah.
is these people go back into the community and they affect others. So it's having a ripple effect. So something has to become on board where hunger is a silent killer and more has to be done to tackle this.
Indeed, a scourge. Thank you so much for that conversation. Ali Sablay is with Gift of the Givers, speaking to us virtually there from Cape Town. What do you say about a conversation that is so stark about the crisis facing millions of South Africans every single day, whether they are faced with a strike or a protest of whatever kind in their community or not? All I can say is if you can help, please do so.